Good evening, everybody. Welcome to ESC Fan TV. It's 8 p.m. UK time, 9 p.m. Central European time. So we're back again to discuss the last national final weekend of the year. We have survived. All the national finals are done and dusted, but that now means we're moving into internal selections and pre-party time. So now just the hard work time. Now we just get to have a lot of fun. But we still have a few things to discuss, like Melodifestivalen, Festival de Cancao, and answering that all-important question, where do we think that one televote point came for Paul Ray last night? But before we move on, a massive thank you to everyone and hello to everyone that is in the chat room. Make sure you send all your comments in and they'll be looked after by my lovely co-host tonight, as my other co-host is currently in a plane. The other one here tonight is Stuart.
Yeah, you've got the slightly better looking co-host tonight. I'm back again, people. It's nice to be back on ESC Fan TV, live on air on a Sunday night. Let's have some fun.
Yes, back by necessity, not popular demand, you may have picked up there. Because like I said, Tom is currently in a plane flying back from Sweden, and he can't really broadcast from 30,000 feet in the air. Technology's not quite there yet. But speaking of Sweden, let's go to Malmö, who's just come back from a very interesting Melodifestivalen. It's Jeanette. How are you?
Hi, I'm knackered, but it was worth it. As you can hear, my voice is, a bit tired, but I'm going to get some energy as soon as we speak about Melfest, so don't worry, I have lots to say today, and I'm happy for once. Love it. Bless you, Loreen.
Right, let's mark the date. And speaking of Melodifestivalen, someone else who's there last night, Ben, have you recovered from last night? You didn't have to travel back to Malmö, but how are you feeling?
Just about recovered. It's going to be a nervous 2 months now. What a luxury position it is to say that.
Can't relate. And also, as we say, we're talking about Festival de Canção, so obviously we had to have our resident Portuguese panelist here. We have David.
Hi everyone. Yes, I kind of recovered from the long road of Festival Cancão, but I'm here, so.
Good, glad you're here. And also from the Let Me Be the One blog and podcast, we have Martin as well, and radio show, I should say as well. Sorry, we have Martin.
Hi everyone. It was quite an interesting night last night with 2 national finals to watch for a change. Looking forward to chatting about it.
Well, as opposed to the 8 we had a month ago.
Yeah, too many. Too many.
Spread it out.
Coordinate these things. Yeah.
You think they'd have a chat? Maybe they will tomorrow at the delegation meeting. Also, you can see us directly below me. We have Tristan. How are you keeping, Tristan?
Yeah, I'm fine. Quite tired after an all-nighter, but I've got another all-nighter tonight. It's the Oscars.
The man never sleeps, I swear. And finally, we have the king and queen of ESC Fan TV, the power couple that are Phil and Michelle. How are you?
Well, we accidentally watched the 2 shows last night because we went day drinking and thought, yeah, go on, we can do this. What's wrong with us?
No, it was good. It was good.
Isn't day drinking just like your standard, Michelle, now? Isn't that what you normally do? That's what I assumed you do.
It was completely accidental because we'd moved from a village to a town and only just realised that we could just walk to like 100 pubs. It's the best.
Right, who believes that was an accident yesterday? Raise of hands. Who believes that was an accident? I thought as much. But right, let's crack on with the show. And so, like I said, we're going to start with Melodifestivalen. They were the first to decide last night. The big 6-week show has finally come to an end. And before I go any further, I just want to say also a big well done to Dale Roberts from Aussie Vision, being the juror for the Australian jury. A big, big honour for him and, of course, the whole team. And it's amazing to see some other people in the fan media getting a spotlight, and obviously they work incredibly hard over there. So I just want to say a big thank you and well done to the pair of them. And also he didn't fluff his lines and looked very lovely in his suit. But back to the music and the songs. And obviously we had Loreen win last night. She is back. It has been 11 years. She has a very interesting record now at Melfest, where the 2 times she's made the final, she's won it. Didn't get the highest point tally ever last night, shortly missing off from Jon Lundvik's total. But she is the winner. Kind of knew this the moment the artist got announced, and then she kind of backed it up in the semi-final, then again in the final. So much so that one of our lovely panelists decided to come up with this on Saturday, and for some reason just made Twitter go into a meltdown with their very honest and frank opinion of, Loreen, if we send anyone else to Liverpool, we are idiots. Ben, now, as you know, I kind of had to not defend you, had to come to your side a little bit and just explain it's a bit of tongue-in-cheek and humour. But I think we should hear from you directly about that picture, because it's somewhat gone viral, and I don't think we anticipated that.
Not quite to the level. I mean, that quote there. So that quote comes out from the 2.5 weeks ago now, because there was about 30 journalists who got to hear all the songs first. I was one of those people. So I do those little bite-sized tweets about all the songs and they come out. And that quote actually came from a pair of Swedish journalists, Schlagerprofilerna. And at the end of their review for Tattoo, it was, if that quote there, if we said something else, Liverpool, we are idiots. Because even on just audio alone, the very first listen, it is in a completely different league to the other 27 performances that we've had in Melodifestivalen this year. And it was clear from the get-go. And you know what? That comment there was the biggest fear we had, especially in those first few days hearing the song and seeing the performance, was, will the Swedes get it? For us in the bubble, knowing Loreen, knowing the story, the little hints of euphoria you hear within that song and how it kind of pushes that to a more intense level. For us, it's an easy sell. It's no surprise it's top of the Eurovision scoreboard app, for example. But for the Swedish public, who tend to vote quite conservatively, lots of kids on there button bashing on the app, and the concern was, it's not the international juries. That was the safe bit. It was the Swedish public. And what's been a pleasant surprise here over the last 2 weeks is how that song is dominating radio charts, dominating streaming charts, dominating YouTube views internationally and abroad and here in Sweden. That, actually, yes, the Swedes do get it. And it did go on to win Melodifestivalen.
I know it was calm in the Eurovision bubble world last night because of it. I don't even picture what would happen if she didn't win. Like I said, we had a split second of drama when she got placed third by the Croatian international jury. I don't think they'll ever be coming back. But there was a slight moment, and that seemed to cause, even in the arena, you just heard the panic was slowly sitting in. I was like, I don't like where this is going. But then natural order resumed. But yeah, Loreen, as you said, Tattoo, she's going back 11 years on. Ben, let's come out and ask you, how do you feel about Tattoo going? I can't remember who I said. Hang
on. I'm really proud that Sweden sent a number like this. It is the best song we have in the competition. So that's great that that's been awarded. It's gone all the way through. There's always a bit of pressure with Sweden in that we take this thing a bit too seriously. All these national finals around Europe now often have international juries. We started that trend, and we started that trend because we had a bad result and wanted to fix it. We are constantly trying to go to win. And there's an expectation in the community right now. I can say a little tidbit here that I know there are politicians within Stockholm who are already discussing the what-if scenario, because there's no bigger event on the planet than Eurovision. You have only 12 months to organise, so the extra 2 months might help. We just have this, it's an easy word to say, but this euphoria right now within the little bubble, but also the wider community. That you speculated there about in the intro about Paul Ray's numbers. 85 points from the public is not the highest, but what you can see from that is 85 is an odd number. That means Loreen was outside the top 3 with one of the voting blocks. And I have a lot of certainty to suggest that would be those small 3 to 9-year-olds. That probably was where Loreen dropped the most. That's the expectation. And that voting block doesn't really exist for the Eurovision Song Contest, so it makes sense. As long as Loreen's hitting the 10 to 15, 16 to 29-year-olds and upwards, then yes, we have Loreen's favourite because it can hit the jury points and the televotes in the Eurovision Song Contest.
Thank you, Ben. Martin, I'm going to come to you because there's an interesting comment there from Harry saying Loreen will win because of Loreen and not because of the song. Now, obviously, in the bubble, she is Loreen. She revolutionised the contest. She's done all these amazing things in 11 years. But the public won't necessarily remember her. They might go, oh, I know that song. but Tattoo, in some regards, is a completely different song. Will she win based on the fact she is Loreen, or is the song itself good enough to actually get the win in May?
I don't think so, but purely not for who she is, because most of the people who watch Eurovision watch it on the Saturday night, probably have no clue that she was in Eurovision 11 years ago. I mean, there will be some publicity. Obviously, the news will be in most countries, oh, Loreen's back. Oh, this is what she sung in 2012. A lot of people probably go, oh, yeah, okay. But it won't be like, oh my God, we must vote for her because she's back at Eurovision, because a lot of the people who vote, simply won't remember. In the semi-finals, there's probably more fanatics, people who really love Eurovision vote in the semi-finals. I think that might be more of a thing. But she's got a great performance. This is probably one of the best. Probably thinking about what we've had, I'd probably only put Luke Black's from Serbia's up artistically, performance-wise so far. I'm not so great with the song. It's a good song, but I think that's the weak bit of Loreen's Tattoo. But yeah, I think that she'll get the votes just purely on her and her performance on the night. It's not going to matter who she was. But personally, I think there's going to be, I think there might be something a bit more fun that people want to vote for this year. She's artistically going to be up there, 1 or 2. But I think that there's some of these other entries that maybe in these times where people want to be picked up and have fun and laugh, I think there's a few out there that might actually go over it just purely because, like Finland, like Austria, if it actually clicks live, that sort of thing might just be the ones they pick for this year. But that's just my thoughts on that.
Thank you. Famish, I'm going to come to you now because Martin raises a good point there. Obviously, we've now got to take this out of Melodifestivalen and into Eurovision. And a lot of people are saying like Loreen's going to almost get like 300 jury points because there's nothing to match it. Whereas I disagree. I think you've got Spain, you've got Estonia, you've got Norway, who can get points from the jury, and then you've still got, say, the fun ones like Finland and Austria that could absolutely steamroll the televote. We saw last year Serbia and Moldova out of nowhere just steamrolled a televote result and got them a very good place overall. Is that their biggest worry, that you've got these other louder, fun, and in Kalia's sense, it's crazy, it's party song that could not beat her, but take enough points off her to stop her winning overall? You're on mute.
We're talking to us?
There you go, guys.
Oh,
yes.
I'm sorry.
I said for the...
We're like,
still...
yeah. What was the question? No.
I think that he deserved to win Melfest, because I think a lot of the other songs in Melfest in the final were quite safe, and it really stood out. And it was obvious that all the money for the staging had been thrown into Loreen's song.
No, what about that girl that had them electric light bulbs that were twizzling around?
Even so, that was
50 quid's worth.
Yeah. It wasn't a 1.5 ton panini press though, was it, with all LED lights?
Do you want me to tell you how to fix this staging problem?
Well, no. But what I'm going to say is, I think it had a bit of an easier ride in Melfest than it's going to have in the competition in Eurovision. And I don't think it's, I think it's going to be top 10. I think it'll probably be top 5, but it's certainly not guaranteed to win. It might win, but it's not guaranteed.
It's not going to win.
And I think as well, there's a lot of toxicity in like, the fan social media. There are some people who, anyone who criticizes it, how dare you criticize Loreen? And it's like, well, hang on, and there are problems with the song because you can't hear what she's actually singing a lot of the time.
Yeah, it's just the beginning bit. It's so sort of quiet, and I don't know if it's because she's sort of laid down that you can't quite hear her properly. But I think maybe if she doesn't have that staging, she won't be laid down, and you will hear her properly. And then in that case, it's a different kettle of fish. But we won't know till till we sort of get there.
But I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a good song. I'm not saying it's a bad song because it's not. It's a very good song. But I don't think it's the only good song in the competition.
It's no cha-cha-cha. No one's even mentioned Germany. I mean, come on.
I know.
But I think Loreen's staging, it's what is it? Is it 2 tons or something? 1.5, 2 tons?
1.8 tons, apparently, yeah.
Surely you could do it with a bit of tissue paper and balsa wood and some LEDs, and you're laughing. It weighs nothing. Get one of them knocked up. Sort yourselves out. Put the plane up.
That's a DIY Eurovision with Finn and Michelle. I would watch that. I would watch that program. BBC got it now. David, let's come to you. So obviously at the moment in this current format, Portugal have the record of the highest jury score and the highest score in Eurovision, the final at the minute with Salvador Sobral. And Portugal are in this semi-final with Sweden. Is this a song that you would vote for? And is this a song that can challenge for Salvador Sobral's current record?
I probably choose going to be Salvador's record. That's the even Kalush record, because I think Kalush got the highest televote. So, but what I vote for depends on the running order. Depends. She's in the second album. Depends on the order she's going to be in. What songs going to be before and after her. Then we see, but also was going to be stage to look away, because you saw she's not going to be this. The Melfast stage will not be the same as the Eurovision, because we know you mentioned the weight of this. All these walls are like massive. Yeah, this is this was I think Melfast was very much predictable. You saw the name Loreen, you said she's gonna win. The money was poured on her. Everyone was going behind her. It's weird because I love Melodifestivalen. I love Melodifestivalen everybody, but also Melodifestivalen has this bug of sending them veterans. Doesn't tend to bring new artists like we are doing. It's not. I think Sweden is not getting the same moral as national fight. It's Sweden. I know Sweden is SBT. They have to do the work, but yeah, I think SBT needs to change a little bit of their mentality in terms of picking artists for Melodifestivalen. But also you cannot deny a name like Loreen, so we cannot say anything. So I think she will do well in the semi for sure, but in the final, she's gonna have some roadblocks. Depends if the songs will qualify. If Austria qualifies, roadblock. Spain is gonna be a roadblock. She's going to be a roadblock, because who's gonna be the key factor? We'll see if she can pull a good staging in Liverpool without the awards, because I think the awards will be scrapped.
Thank you. Just I'm going to come to you now, because obviously every Eurovision winner, when you think about it in the past, on performance has a unique selling point, and that's what's made them win. And let's just talk hypothetically for a moment. Loreen cannot take her staging.
Yeah.
And there are very good reasons as to why they can't, Tristan, as Ian said, and I'll paraphrase that a bit later. If, for any reason, she cannot use that staging that she used last night, what is a unique selling point that she can get a top 5, top 3 and win at Eurovision? Is it her? Is it the song? Is it how she emotes the song? Like, what is the unique selling point of Tattoo?
It's Loreen, isn't it? I mean, I think the staging is so important for that song. I think that sort of that, and also Loreen's presence. I mean, she's that's what's going to carry her through. I don't think the song is very good. I genuinely cannot hum it at the moment. I can hum Melanie Weber's Just for the Show, even though that didn't even get through to the final. That's been in an earworm all day. But I cannot, even though I heard it loads of times last night, I cannot at the moment sing you Tattoo. So it's not something that it's not something that sticks in your mind. So the only thing that's going to carry it through is the staging and her name. Her name will be really important for the juries. I think the juries will want to give her lots more points than maybe she deserves because it's Loreen. The televote Not necessarily. That's going to be a little bit more of a we don't know what's going to happen. But the televote, the staging is really important. And if you can't bring that staging, it just has to be something quite different, because it can't just be her. It's not sort of song which has got we can have an amazing dance routine like Euphoria, because it's not that kind of song. So it has to be a sort of. They just have to be inventive, and hopefully they can be, or maybe they can improve the ceiling of the M&S Arena or whatever it is that can carry the weight of that staging. Because I'm surely it's not impossible. I mean, this is this is a modern country. Surely they can work something out and make it work. I mean, it's not. It's if they can do it in Sweden, why can't they do it in Liverpool? But anyway, I suppose there must be some reasons. But these days, electronics are so light. I mean, I've got a new television. I can lift it with like my little finger, and it's about 56 inches. It's so surely they can create something that is lighter. It can't be beyond their abilities.
No, I'm sure they will. But I just want to quickly lead to what Ian said earlier, because I asked him about this, and obviously, if people don't know, Ian does work in like lighting and production, so this is very much his sort of wheelhouse. He deals this sort of thing for his day job, or especially around theatres. He said the main thing isn't necessarily the weight or the size; it's just dedicating that much size and space above the arena and above the staging to one nation when you've got 37 countries. And say, for example, you've got Blanca's fringing thing. That's clearly going to be in a carabiner that needs to be dropped down. And obviously, as we saw last night in Melfest, it takes a lot of time to set up that performance. There's a lot of ad-libbing and a lot of like dancing around the green room from Fowler and Jesper last night to fill the time. They did a fantastic job with all of that, do not get me wrong. But it was very evident they needed a lot of time. It was very much like, Sam Ryder. That took ages to set up. It worked in our favour, but it took ages. And then we had Australia straight afterwards. That was a long break again. I think the EBU are going to want to prevent that as much as possible, because it made things drag a little bit during the final. Yes. Or they just sort out the running order a bit better. I don't know. But the main issue seems to be, from Ian's perspective, looking at this, is not necessarily the weight. It's the size of it, and dedicating that much size and space, airspace for lack of a better word, just for one country. It's not like Francesca Michelin, where she had plastic ducks and everything coming down from the ceiling. It's a bit more grander than that, let's say. And I'll never forget that plastic grass scenery from Italy that year. Bless her heart. Jeanette, you have been very patient and listening to us say about these things about tattoo. I will now let you have the floor for a few minutes just to say why this is the best thing musically since sliced bread, and why we should all bow down to Queen Loreen again in May. Go.
Thank you. I've been waiting patiently, as you said. I am ecstatic, if nobody has realized it yet. Last night, it's Sunday today, was epic to be in the arena, and there's 27,000 people going mad, and it was fabulous. Loreen, my God, she was outstanding. She's the queen. That's all I can say. It was a good Melfest final. I've been suffering for 5 weeks before and thought everything was shit, and almost it was, but the final was really good. And the rock band, very good. Marcus and Martinus, well deserved their second place, but there can only be one winner, and obviously that would be Loreen. And there was no competition. I was worried when the first jury didn't give her 12, but I think that was a setup. That's how I think. And when you listen to the song, you say you can't really hear what she's saying, but if you listen to the studio version, you can hear every single word, and it's lyrics. It's not po po po, oh cha cha cha. What the fuck is that? Come on, that is just shit. Come on, guys. Don't even do a cha 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 in here. No. It's just ridiculous. She's got it all. She can sing. She's a great performer. Staging. Yes, it's going to be interesting tomorrow at the head of delegation meeting that starts. I don't think she's going to get to have that staging. I think we need to change it, but it's SVT, so they're gonna pull something fabulous out of it anyway, something similar to captivate the audience. And what can I say? It's a contender for the win. And as you know, next year would be 50 years since Sweden won with ABBA. So it would be really nice to have Eurovision next year in Sweden. Just a little side curveball. But it was amazing. I can't say anything negative about her. I'm just sometimes pissed about people saying it's another Euphoria. It's nothing like Euphoria. Euphoria was excellent, but this is next level. It's amazing.
Thank you, Jeanette. And it's lovely to hear someone so passionate about their home entry. It's been a while since we can do that. We were like it with Sam Ryder, but I don't know when we can do that again, to be honest. I will say, and this is the only comparison I will make to Euphoria with Tattoo, is that, in my opinion, and it is somewhat similar, it is the same songwriting team as Euphoria. She takes what is an average concept, song about love, average lyrics, Walking Through Fire and Rain. Everyone's talked about that before, and Love and Pain, all that. But she elevates it from a 6 out of 10 to a 9 out of 10. And that's what she did with Euphoria. She is an artist, makes an okay song sound phenomenal, and performs it phenomenal. Like last night, it was a lot more emotion and stronger than the semi-final because there was real emotion. Like she was almost crying at points. I will say, whoever was on the smoke machine clearly lent on it because you couldn't see her at points. And that's why the jury final performance is their official video, because you can't see her at points. And I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure SVT, they load all their camera shots in before the final. So it's just an automatic system playing on those camera shots. Hence why when the stage invader came in, there was just that one shot for about a minute because that was the override. And that's they couldn't cut away from these shots where it was just like a silhouette of something through a cloud of smoke because they just got a bit shit. There's way too much smoke on the screen, but we can't stop. I don't think the song is all that. I get why people will love it. Like, I get why people are excited Loreen is back. She is people's first introduction to Eurovision. She is an icon in the contest. She did revolutionize how people look and perform at Eurovision. I will give her all that. And yes, it was the best song in Melodifestivalen last night. Was it my favorite? No, but I know for the best result, that was the obvious choice. But there, as I said, there are roadblocks. There is Spain, there is Finland, there is Austria. And yes, I know the lyrics for some of them are very simple, but they're memorable and they get stuck in your head and you can bounce around. And as a fan of Austria and Finland, I know that makes me sound basic and trash. I don't care. I don't think the song's bad. It's just not amazing, in my opinion. But I will give her all the dues. She performs it amazingly. And that's something you cannot take away from an artist or a performer. She makes a song her own and she makes it sound amazing. But I stand by if anyone else sang that song, not as convinced it would have won or it wouldn't have won by such a margin. Stuart, we've got a lot of people in the chat room tonight, nearly 200 of them, which is amazing. What are they all saying and what is your feedback on this and Tattoo?
Yeah, thanks, Elliot. Firstly, huge thanks to everyone in the chat room. Keep your wonderful comments coming through. Some great stuff in there. I think there's a lot of drinking games going on at the moment on Eurovision land, so keep that one coming. By God, look at all of us. I think we all need a drink, let's be frank. Look, my point of view would be this. Loreen is an absolute icon. Everything she does is outstanding. She can't put a foot wrong in my eyes. Every single entry at Eurovision in Melodifestivalen even, I've loved. Even the ones that didn't do so well, statements, by the way. I think she's a credible performer and she knows how to sell a song, number one. People are talking about a winning Eurovision, and I think that's way too early. I'll tell you why it's way too early. When you look at the current betting odds, Loreen apparently has a 38% chance of winning Eurovision this year. Finland a second with 14%. Ukraine a third with 13%. We know why. And Norway a fourth with 5%. What do those four have in common? What do those three of those four have in common? We know the song and we know the performance they're going to bring on stage in Liverpool. We don't know what everybody else is bringing people. That's the secret to Eurovision. That's what makes it so bloody fantastic. We have no idea what the UK are bringing to Eurovision. We have no idea what Israel are bringing to Eurovision. We have no idea if Austria is even going to work on stage at Eurovision. That's what makes it so incredibly fun. And that's what makes this speculation so much fun too. So who knows? Who knows? What we do know is Loreen is going to go big. There is no question. She's incredible. She is absolutely incredible, people. Whether you like the song or you don't like the song, expect phenomenon? That doesn't work, does it? Phenomenal performance in Liverpool. Yeah, thank you, Martin. And regardless, we're going to love it. I actually don't care about the staging. They're going to just come up with some concept where they put a screen above her. It's still going to work. It'd just be different camera shots. But don't start talking about countries winning Eurovision yet, people. We need to see the performances. Remember Spaceman last year? Do I need to remind you where Spaceman was in the betting before we got to Turin? All of a sudden, it shot up. The staging drives the win. Back to you, Elliot.
Thank you. And so that's a very good point. There's always one nation every year that brings a concept and everyone just goes, holy shit. I mean, I still remember Fuego. It was a run-of-the-mill pop song, but she brought a staging and a performance which made her the favourite the night before her semi-final. And then she got second. So they said anything can happen between now and then. Ben, I'm just going to circle back to you because it did look like you had a point you just wanted to finish on with Sweden. Or did I miss?
I think all of this point here is a great thing to talk about. I mean, this thing, the odds that Stuart's mentioned before, as a general rule, you have a betting market in March that is very biased, not just to the Nordics because we've seen their national finals, but it's generally biased towards the West as well. Usually the betting market, because the betting market is more active in Western Europe, it kind of over amplifies where they should be in the kind of rankings we mentioned compared to where they should be for those countries that are not engaged in the betting markets as much and don't have the high budget national finals. Czechia, this is a great example of that, which is probably undervalued because we've not seen that live performance at the same comparable level and the comparable stage to what we have in Tattoo, for example. But with Loreen here, regardless of what the staging will be, and I share the concerns, I do not expect to see the staging that we have from Melodifestivalen, not with anything down the ceiling that is so heavy and so large. Loreen is an artist. Loreen came back to the show this year because the song was created with her in mind, and after a few weeks of persuasion, she said yes. But she only said yes when she had a vision for how to stage the song. And Loreen's vision is key to all of this. And why we say it's SVT this and SVT that, this is actually a different number. It's not SVT's internal staff have done this. It's actually Tobias Rielander, LA-based visual lighting producer. Is why it looks so different than all the other things that SVT have in Melodifestivalen. They have some work to do. They may have a different solution, but those people are people I would trust to look for making the artist pop out. There's so many different money shots within Tattoo, which are golden, which is cinematography at the top level, which is why it's being discussed here. This song here for me, I would describe it as Sergei Lazarev for juries. And yes, the question mark right now is not the jury side of things, it's the televote side of things. But this is such hit potential. It's already top of the global Spotify for all the songs selected so far. If that keeps going, if Radio 2 keep playing it, etc., it'll have enough televotes and it'll be game over.
Thank you, Ben. As I said, we will see what happens in May, but well done, Loreen, for last night. And otherwise, we'll be here all evening. It's time to move over to the Iberian state of Portugal and the very last national final of the season. And they rounded out with Festival de Canção, where Mimi Cat won overall. She won a tie with the jury, so they both got 12, and then won the televote. Yeah, in all her flamenco and ruffles, I Curaçao, very, for me, West Side Story meets Moulin Rouge on stage. I loved every camp second of it. Every theatre kid, I think, is going to love it, to be honest, for the visuals and the performance and the hand clapping. Stuart, you're normally a lover of Festival de Canção and all things Portuguese, and I actually like the song. I very rarely like Portugal in Eurovision. So do we have a kindred spirit for once?
I like the song because I like Portuguese music and I follow Festival de Canção. I think it's a really good national final. I think it's always incredibly diverse, and that's what I love about Eurovision. I love some of the national finals because you get lots of variety. It's not my favourite entry, I've got to be honest. I think Portugal have perhaps gone for something that resonates more for the Portuguese market than the international market. And I think we might find that in Eurovision in May. Mimikat's a phenomenal performer, and I do like the style of the song. I really do. For me, I think it's a great song. But I do question whether it's going to resonate, whether it's going to get enough voters. It's in a really tough semi-final. I think it's sandwiched in between, where is it? It's sandwiched in between Norway and Serbia. And that's not a great place to be perfectly honest. Will it stand out? Possibly. Do I think it will qualify at this moment in time? And that's before we see performances and all that kind of stuff I just said. I don't want to contradict myself too much. I think it's borderline at the moment. It's a good song for the Portuguese market. Yeah, I just have major questions. And I think it needs more than what we saw on stage on Saturday night for it to go places in Liverpool.
Thank you, Stuart. Jeanette, coming to you now. As I said to David, you will be competing against Portugal in this semi-final. Is this a song you're concerned about, or is this a song you'll be voting for in May?
Take a wild guess. No, it's a big no for me. I really gave it a shot, tried to listen to it a couple of times today, but I can't connect with it at any level at all. And it's in my bottom 5 at the moment. I'm sorry. I'll try to give it a better score maybe, but it's not for me at all. But it's just a no for me. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
So no competition for Loreen. So no competition for Loreen. No.
I did like the maybe at the end of that, to be honest.
I want to give it a chance like all the other countries. So I will give it a go. But right now it's a no for me. But I'll keep trying.
Oh no. Phil, Michelle, you like something that's a bit wacky on stage. And although this is a very credible song, and I wouldn't say wacky, but the staging of it is very theatrical. It's very, like I said, West Side Story meets Moulin Rouge. Is that something you think you could vote for, see people voting for on that semi-final? Because she's a phenomenal performer and it's very theatrical.
Yeah, it was fun. It was definitely fun. It was one of the better songs of the night. Yes.
Why did the dresses have no front?
Well, I'm not complaining. Hey.
And there's your answer.
Yeah. But yeah, it was good. I did like. I mean, the whole national final. I thought there was a lot more variety, and it wasn't as safe as Melfest.
And I'd also like to just point out at the beginning of it, with the nice song at the beginning that they sang.
I think we should say that one.
I did have a check, and I don't have shiny pubes.
Yeah.
You need to go and check it out. Go and have a look at the beginning song.
Yeah, the opening song.
Do you have shiny pubes? Because if you do, you're going to have a whale of a time.
Yeah, the opening song, before the actual act came on, there was like an introduction song, and they were singing about having shiny pubes, which kind of...
I feel like maybe I need Head and Shoulders, I don't know.
Oh. But anyway, yeah. I think my favourite was Depulk Sportif, the World Needs Therapy.
That's a shock, isn't it?
But they were really screwed over by the juries. They came like halfway up purely on the televote. And I was kind of disappointed on that.
Where does mine come? I like
you like Esse Pova.
Yeah.
They were
I thought that was really fun and really cute. And one of the guys was absolutely stunning. He was the most beautiful person that was in the Portuguese final, and I think they should have got through just on that. So, but I like the winner. I thought.
Yeah, I do as well.
I like it. It is wacky. It is crazy, and it is something that I could dress up like, but I would keep it a bit lower at the front due to my non-shiny pubes.
Thanks, guys. I don't even want to know about that opening act. I'm just not going to entertain that whatsoever.
Go and listen. Go and watch it. Go and watch it.
You will have to force me to do that. And that's not an invitation to do that in Liverpool, but not going to happen. David, this is your home entry. This is your song for Eurovision. Mimikat was one of the favourites. She took it out. She won the public vote. How do you see this faring in Liverpool?
Yeah, for me, I was just, there was a lot of potential when it's there. The final was like open to everyone. Like even Badu Mamle got a chance for me to win. Like that was very diverse. Yeah, Mimikat, she listened. She listened to criticism from her first semi-final performance. She elevated in the final, and I think she can do again because she will listen to the fans. She will listen to the fans. Now she's going to listen to the international fans because they will be key. She's going to take notes. She's going to send to RTP and then see what they're going to do with staging. She's going to be the good thing about her. She's very open to change, so it's good. The RTP will also accept that because last year we did very good staging, so there's not going to be an issue in terms of. But yeah, depends on the running order. I think it will depend on the running order because the first half of this semi-final was very slow. You mentioned Norway and Serbia. There's another as well. If I look in this half, like if you look at the first half, you know the songs are in there. We have like Latvia, we have the wackiness of Croatia, we have Malta, which is also a very wacky song. It is going to depend if running order will do. The only possibility is going after Ireland will help, but depends. Because we know Serbia is going to be more very good staging, so it's good. But yeah, it's very open. I was very surprised about she tied with Edmund because people were like thinking about Edmund possibly because of the jury factor, but the good thing is also people got a little bit surprised about the North swap to Evandro. Evan, very fantastic singer, by the way, one of the best voices because of this year. Yeah, you talk about Rosso, but Mimicat, she gone over. Is not good. Yeah, top three, qualified squad third. You know, she didn't really have to do it. She opened the show. She kind of left behind because she was going to be opening, but surprisingly, see everyone got points in the end. Like, I'm very surprised Nyonso didn't get any title. They were fantastic last night. They were like one of my potential winners, potential all hearts, because that staging was pretty much amazing. But yeah, Babatino was also very creative with staging. We did very well in terms of what we do. But the problem was every participant where we did all of Canção inside our TP studios. Inside of the small TV studio. Imagine if we did the final in the Mero Arena, in the Coliseu, that would be more space to do better staging. Now in Liverpool, we have that chance, so I hope she will do well, I think. In terms of final, I think she can do 15. Depends if she will qualify.
Thank you, David. Martin, it's going to cost you because obviously we said about running order, and that's going to be a big part. Now she is in the first half of her semi-final, and this is quite a loud song. Could you see this potentially opening the first semi-final and Eurovision? I mean, it's not impossible, and they do like a crowd pleaser to open. But as we said, we've got Alessandra and the busker as well. But could you see this potentially opening that first semi-final?
I mean, I've seen on social media, there's some people thinking that Ireland in the first half, first semi-final. We are one, and with obviously the Irish just being across the water from Liverpool opening. I mean, this could do. To be honest, Mimicat that entry is all about her. It's all about her performance, her connection. Song, you know, it's very Portuguese, which obviously it's Portugal's national final. My favourites of the night were all sort of probably the more British or English language ones. So I had Barbara Tinoco, Neon Soho, the Punk Sportif. But yeah, I can see why Mimicat won. It's an entertaining show. I think it probably needs a bit more beefing up with the staging at least, but then it was in the RTP studios, so it's probably not a lot you could have really done there. So I expect we're going to see quite a different show. But yeah, it could be. It depends on whether the producers think that putting a song in Portuguese up front is the way to go. But yeah, I must admit I'd probably be thinking more, you know, maybe Ireland song stuck up front. But yeah, we'll wait and see. That's one of the imponderables about what we're going to find out in the next month or so.
Indeed. Interesting to come across to you. So you followed Festival de Canção. As we keep saying, like, this is a tough semi-final. There's no two ways about it. Norway, Czech Republic, Finland, Moldova, Sweden, Switzerland, like, these are all potential roadblocks for me being out, unfortunately. Has she got enough as a singer and a performer with I Canção to make the final? Stuart, I'm ignoring that comment because I've just seen Till and Michelle start laughing. I'm just going to keep going. Tristan, can Mimi Cat, as a performer, recreate what she did last night and get through to the final?
No, I don't think so. I love the song. I love her. I like her voice, but she's unfortunately, Portugal has been shafted by this not having jury in the semi-finals, because this is be a song that would appeal much more to the juries, I think. And it's such a, I mean, Croatia's obviously going to win that or do really well in the semi-final. You normally get, when you have the semi-finals, you normally get no more than 4 countries for the first half. Sometimes it's 3, but never 5 or more. So, I mean, with the 4 countries, you've got Croatia, you've got Serbia, you've got Norway. They're almost definitely going to go through. So then that 4th place is going to be between Ireland and maybe Portugal and maybe Malta or Latvia. I mean, it's really hard. And I don't think she's got enough with the current staging to get through just on the song and the staging alone. So she has to really bring something out of the bag. So I think this will be for her to get through. Hopefully they can use the same kind of staging that Portugal have used in the past, because Maro last year, that was beautiful staging, and I thought that was great. So hopefully they put the same team involved. It deserves to go through. Of course it does. It's a great song, but because of this new rule that has been brought in for this year, and hopefully it's only just for this year, that there's no jury's involvement in the semi-finals. I'm afraid I can't see her getting past into the Saturday night final unless the staging is spectacular, which is possible. So that's what they just have to concentrate on the staging. That's the only thing that can save it, even though it should be saved from the voice and from the song, because the song and the voice are great as well. But I'm being realistic.
Thank you, Tristan. Ben, just very quickly coming to you. In Portuguese, they've gone back to Portuguese. Can she do it? Like I said, it's going to be difficult, but is it possible?
When we say can she do it, we're looking at qualifying here for that, because there's definitely a potential for this to do that kind of thing. But that's going to be, it's the charm that's going to be important, and that's going to come down to charisma more than anything else. The language we've seen in modern times, that this perception that you need to sing in English, and little dig at the UK here, in quite babyish, simple English to do well at Eurovision is a complete misnomer. You can do quality in whatever language you like, and it will get rewarded. So I don't have any issue with this being in Portuguese or not. I think those days that language has a bias like that are gone, thank goodness. And the success of this will come down to how much people connect with the character, because people vote in this contest not often for songs or for singing, they vote for characters. So that's the key to getting this to qualify.
Perfect, thank you, man. As I said, we wish her the best, but we know it will be slightly difficult, and we'll come back to this when we do our song reviews, which will be starting soon. But obviously, a big thing to note is that Spain are not in the semi-final either, so they're one neighbour they don't have, unfortunately. But that is it for the national finals. We've covered them all, and I think Barbara Tinoco said it best last night. Good night to that. We've done it for another year, guys. I just love how that was the little postcard read she had last night. I thought that was really cute. But yes, good night to the national finals for another year. And we're going to move swiftly on to the internal selection. We're going to have one because we like to talk about ourselves, and it's the United Kingdom. After weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks of speculation and God knows how many songs and God knows how many singers, it's Hannah Mae Muller, otherwise known as Mae Muller, will be representing the UK with the song I Wrote a Song. From London, good pop song. Like I said, she's got a lot of credibility, performed on national TV, performed with some big artists, has another song being released again with another big artist coming soon, I believe. As I said, this is the UK's entry to follow up from Sam Ryder, the quote-unquote home entry this season. Jeanette, what do you think the UK's chances are this year with I Wrote a Song? As someone who can vote for this in May.
They are fabulous. I have to say it. I'm so happy that you follow up with this song. I loved Sam last year, and it hasn't been that good the last 10 years for UK, and we all know it. But last year, it was a freaking miracle. It was fantastic. And I love this girl, May. I haven't heard about her before, but I love her. She's sassy. She is classy. And the song is just funny. And it reminds me of my last breakup, how I felt and what I wanted to do. I wanted to burn his house down. But yeah, so I can relate to it. I didn't do it, also. Yeah, clear with that. But it saved me from moving to UK, so because Sweden is better anyway. So, but you're gonna do well. I think you're gonna do really, really well, and I'm so happy for it because I'm partially British. I'm just feeling it. So, well done, UK. Well done, BBC. It's probably with them involved. So, like, is it with the same record company like with Sam last year? Yeah, it is, and yeah, it's damn catchy. Love it. Bravo. Take my hat off if I had one.
Thank you. Martin, let's come to you, because obviously Ben made a good point earlier. He's also mentioned this earlier in the week that, and I do have to agree with this, the lyrics are somewhat simple, considering this is the UK and singing in English. We haven't really pushed a boat out with lyrical complexity here. Could that potentially work against May when her lyrics are literally, so I wrote a song? And I know people have compared it to Alexander Rybak with That's How You Write a Song, but it didn't work out well for him in the final.
No, I mean, in a way, we're debating simplicity of lyrics, and then we're talking about Austria with po 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 and cha 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 for Finland, you know. And in a way, you want a hook, and you want people to remember you. So you can go sort of make it a really complicated song, but then you lose. Sometimes they don't instantly go like that. You don't have the earworm effect. I think more about May's entry this year is going to be about her. She's another one who's a performer. If you've watched her online, she sung live on Jimmy Fallon's show. There's a sort of concert in the lockdown period where she's singing lots of her material live, and she can sing live, no problem at all. She can connect with the camera, no problem at all. She's got attitude, sass. I think that as long as the staging's good, this is going to really do well. And how well, probably not winning well, but this could be top 10 if we get the staging right, because she knows what she's about. She's been doing this for years. It's just a pity it wasn't in Turin in a way, or that Mika wasn't here with us, because then they could have all have a little love in, saying, I know you were the girl on the piano. So.
Yes, and so for those who don't know, May did confirm she is the girl in Grace Kelly at the piano talking back to Mika at the start of the song, which is a very weird full circle moment, especially if, say, she competed last year, and I think that would have been quite cute. Phil and Michelle, obviously to start entry, and I think my favourite part in the entire music video is she's in this gown with a puffer coat. I think that's brilliant. Michelle, is that going to be one of your dress-up ideas for this year?
I can't see any reason why not.
It's practical. Glad I'm warm.
Yeah. Especially in British weather, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm known for not being warm and needing a jacket.
No, but it's a good song. I mean, this isn't my genre of music, but then again, I'm a old bastard, so it will be.
No, you mean it's not stupid? That's what he means. It's not. Not a stupid comic song.
But at the same time, it's a modern song. It's fun, and I think it could do well. It all depends on how well it's performed live and what the staging is like.
And if she's going to go around, if she's going to schlep around Europe selling herself and the song, is also a massive part of it. Because Sam Ryder went everywhere last year. As you know, we love a ferry from Hull, and we were on said ferry from Hull, but coming back from the Netherlands, Sam Ryder is on the telly in the Netherlands not on a Eurovision related show.
Just doing the chat
If she
show.
can get around and do schniz like that, then there's every chance. It's whether she's going to go round everywhere and put the work in.
Because that's something sounded, and I think that's something
It's
previous
important.
acts,
Yeah, it's important.
previous British acts didn't do.
You
You
don't get Bonnie Tyler going around all countries, do you?
No, or Engelbert Humperdinck.
Who?
Exactly.
Anyway, I think she's one for the youth, and,
Yeah.
and that's where it lies. Is the TikToky thing? I don't know. Is she all over TikTok? I've no idea.
I don't know.
We've only just learned how to use it, and it's mainly just cats. So
Oh, I love cats.
yeah.
Nothing with cats. Nothing
You want
with
to see
cats.
my TikTok then, Jeanette? Because I can't get
Yeah.
away from it. I've accidentally pressed something, and now all I've got is cats.
I don't have TikTok either.
But yeah, I think if she can communicate through the medium of TikTok to the youth,
Yeah.
I think we're laughing.
Yeah.
We're all right. Yeah.
Yeah. Will they? I don't know, but I think we'll do well, and that's the important thing. You know, I think definitely again we are back in Eurovision and competing properly after being in the doldrums for so
We're taking
long.
it seriously.
Yeah.
You know,
And,
so
and
that's
that's the
what we need.
important thing.
But I think if she gets a cat, she's won TikTok.
Who knew? That's what you need to do to win Eurovision. Just have a cat on stage.
Yep.
Well, we can't be a live
Yep.
cat because then you're not allowed live animals on stage. Either way. Ben, they just raised a good point there about the whole TikTok age. And clearly we've seen from Alessandra it helps to a point. However, is that potentially just gearing at one demographic who may not necessarily pick up the phone and vote come Saturday night? Because you don't get a lot of like 25 and unders voting in Eurovision. It's mainly older, I've noticed. Is that a potential drawback for me?
If you can get enough people to vote, doesn't matter what age they actually are. And that's a very, very good target audience. Not so much maybe for the song contest, but very much for the music industry point of view. And what we actually need to maybe think about with this is it doesn't have the same competitiveness that's so obvious as Sam Ryder did last year. Not got huge vocal moments. It's in a genre of, Love Island pop, let's call it, which competitively is a struggle for the juries because juries see themselves often as being higher brow than that. This is a good pop song. Is it a great pop song? Maybe it is. It's certainly got some catchy things all the way through. The pre and the post chorus are sublime in this. But you know what? It might not be competitive, but you need to have a different narrative. The narrative here is Eurovision has given me a hit, because this can be a hit. It might even end up being the biggest hit of the contest. It's also a little test here to see, because we have the official Eurovision TikTok collaboration, I'm assuming again this year. I didn't spot that was used that well last year, but if that is used really well, you could have some songs really picking up virality through that, and then that going into Spotify charts and so forth into a much bigger way than even we've seen with things like Norway's entry this year. If all of those things come together and the UK still finishes mid-table, let's say, that's still success. Who won the Eurovision Song Contest last year? You could argue there's quite a few of them. You can certainly argue Rosa Lynn is a winner from what happened in Turin, regardless of the scoreboard. And the UK, I think, is more likely to have that kind of result than it is to actually take the trophy home in May.
Thank you, Ben. Thanks for this time. I think we can all agree, it's a quality pop song. The UK are trying. That's what we wanted. We can be rest assured with that, surely. That's what we want, isn't it, guys? The UK to actually look like they've tried, right? That's all we ask for.
It's fantastic.
I will take that as a win, then. Stuart, just to quickly round this out, because obviously just because of time, is there anything else that the chat room is saying regarding May and what we can achieve in Liverpool?
Well, the chat room's saying no trumpets, please. I don't think we have to worry about that this year, guys. I think the trumpet manufacturing supply contract was terminated some years ago. I think this is a good entry from the UK. I think it's a good follow-up. I'm glad we didn't stick with the same type of genre. It'd been very easy to. It'd been very easy to go for something I don't know, accustomed to Liverpool, something a bit Beatles-esque. But we chose not to do that. We chose to go something which is very current, very TikTok generation, and something you would hear in the UK charts. Personally, and this is probably weird for me, it's the first year when I've not really liked. No, I like the song. I don't love the song yet, but it does get me on first hearing. And I can't deny, for the very first day, I was hearing it da, 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 in my head, non-bloody stop, and I'm trying to concentrate for work. So it's got that, and I think that's absolutely essential. And I'm going to go back to the point I made this after, at the beginning of the show. The staging is key. And if the staging is delivered as I expect it to be delivered, and there's a couple of comments in the chat, Connor Wells, just shout you out. Josh Huerta, who was part of the choreography for Chanel last year, is involved in the choreography for the UK this year. There is a very strong plan in the UK to deliver some epic staging. Just look out for that. And when we start to see that in Liverpool, that's when you start to see the betting odds change. I feel like I've gone from A to Z very quickly in this show. Staging is key. Ignore the betting. Ignore what you're being told at the moment. There's a dead cert Eurovision winner. Make your mind up when you see the staging. And yeah, I mean, I'm very keen to hear what David and Tristan quickly have to say, because you know it's great to hear our European friends tell us that the UK is doing really, really well, because all of the hate seems to be from us UK people. Get on board with the song.
It's very true. So, David, let's come to you very quickly. What is your feedback and thoughts on I Wrote a Song?
Yeah, it's a very good song. It's not the best, but it is very good. Mia, she's a very confident performer. She had her breakout year last year, performing in Tonight Show, going platinum in the US. It's kind of a big deal for her. She can do very well if apparently Connor says he has a member of Chanel stay board or staging. She can do very well if she get the right, if she got the right voice and the right staging, she can do very well. But yeah, it just depends on, she can deliver vocally, she has the experience of probably Little Mix. She also, her songwriting of the song is also not bad either. Like writing songs for Kylie Minogue, big artists, she can do well, I think.
Thank you. And Tristan, just to round this out, what are your feelings on May and what can she achieve in Liverpool as the home entry?
I mean, it's great. It's certainly growing on me. I liked it the first time I heard it, but obviously we were teased by so many other names that would have been perhaps like this Reno and Birdie and stuff, which would have been quite much more on my street. So the initial reaction was kind of deflation, because I'd been excited about the rumours that had been coming out, which happens every year. It is growing on me a lot, and it's certainly a very catchy song. It's the kind of music I listen to be honest. I don't know if it is going to set the voting world alight in May, the same way that Sam Ryder did. I'm very active on a lot of the Spanish forums and news groups regarding Eurovision, and whereas Sam Ryder was everyone was really scared of Sam Ryder as soon as that song came out. It said, "Oh, this is the most serious competition for Chanel." A lot of people do like this song, but it's not sort of people aren't sort of like scared of it. Let's put it that way. They're not seeing it as competition for Blanca Paloma in the same way that they saw Sam Ryder as competition for Chanel. So I think it'll. I'm pretty sure it'll end up between 10th and 15th place. And I'd be amazed and delighted if it got better than 10th, but I wouldn't bet my house on it.
Thank you, Tristan. So we'll just have to wait and see. But all in all, she looks like a lot of fun, a good ambassador, and I'm sure we'll see her down at Euroclub one night, probably with a bottle of Lambrine in her hand, or if not, WKD. I don't know. You know,
she's definitely going to be down at Euroclub every bloody night. I can tell you, every night. It's like Brooke from Ireland last year. She was out every night in Turin. We should know we were there for them, Michelle.
I don't remember being there.
So what you're saying is Ryland's found his hun for the year he can go out drinking with every night, because that's what he did with Brooke, and they're still best mates now.
I met Ryland last night.
We've all met Ryland. That's nothing special.
Yes, I thought so. I thought so. He was walking by me. I threw myself out of the cab and said hello.
He would turn up to the opening of an envelope.
Bless him, he's lovely, isn't he? He's very tall.
He's a bit skinny, but he was lovely.
Oh, you like a bit of meat on him, do you, Janine?
Yeah.
And moving on,
Need something to nibble on.
Before this turns into a dating show of some kind, I don't even
maybe
want
we should
no,
do that.
You can do that in 2024 when I'm not hosting it. But with that, the national final season has come to a close, which means from next week, at some point, I'll have a discussion with Tom and Stu about what we're going to do. But I'm assuming it's now just full steam ahead of our song reviews, in where we make very bold predictions being dragged out of us by Tom, and Tom holds it on a piece of paper and will no doubt use it against us in the future as laughing material and blackmail.
Kinda.
Yeah. But we always get one, and I'm hoping I'm right with one of them, but God knows what. But that's what we've got to look forward to. Big thank you to everyone who's followed us on this national fairly journey for a year. It has been an interesting year, some ups, some downs. Luckily, the world didn't implode last night because Loreen won. But it is time to say goodbye to my lovely panel. So I just want to say a big thank you to everyone here. Firstly, for the Michelle, thank you as always. And I'll not let you go back on your happy trail finding all the pubs in your new town.
Oh, yay! We won't be in the reviews because they make us watch all this shit that we've had to slog our way through, and then they just dump us like a sack of spuds.
Oh, that's shit.
Never.
No, it is. It is true.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Just to clarify, it's 100% accurate.
A big thank you to Ben for coming on from Stockholm. It's been a wild season for you, seeing Blanca, Kalia, and Loreen all live in an arena. Have a well-earned rest now.
Thanks, Simon.
No worries. So a big thank you to Jeanette as well. Go back and watch Tattoo another 100 times, I say.
Yeah, it's non-stop, but I love the UK song too. It's my number 4. That is good. And I want to say hi to Lee in Barnsley, as I always do. I'm going to send you some stuff because I got some autographs for you since you couldn't join us. So I met some of the people you wanted to meet. So they send you lots of love. And love from Sweden to UK, as always.
Just double check what's in that box, because yeah, big thank you to Tristan as always. I hope to see you back for the song reviews, and just love to see what your opinions on some of these more bizarre, wonderful entries that have come out this year.
Oh yeah, no, I can't wait, and I'm also looking forward to doing the sort of like best national final and all those sort of stuff. That's the Eurovision for me. All that excitement of the build up to it all.
A big thank you to Martin. I'll now let you sort of like collate what has happened in the past 10 weeks for your radio show and blog. Good luck with all of that. Fit that into a 2-hour show.
Yes, well, luckily I normally do it as at least the entries has been going along, so that's not too bad. But there's still about, because of all the revamps that have just happened. There's about an hour and a half of the show already done for Tuesday, and that's not including, as say somebody's just pointed out, Azerbaijan's revealing tomorrow, so I'm going to have to add that in as well. But yeah, it's been a great season, so look forward to the reviews.
And lastly, a big thank you to my co-host Stuart, who is looking after the chat room, which seemed to be very busy this evening, so we are very grateful for that as well.
Yeah, and a huge thanks to everyone who joined. We had nearly 200 people live in the chat room this evening. Thank you for joining us on ESC Fan TV. And don't go anywhere. We'll be back with our song reviews very shortly, and all the fun all the way to Liverpool in May. And for those who are going to all the pre-parties, some of us are going to Amsterdam. Come and say hello. And some of us will be in London. Come and say hello. I'll be in London, so give me a wave. Preferably away from a distance. I don't like people much. But no, seriously, come and say.
It's going to be shit in London. You need to come to Amsterdam.
I drink vodka and lemonade, just saying.
I drink whatever you buy me. I'm not fucked. I don't care. Anything.
I'd say to give a tap water and say it's vodka. That'd be fine. And finally, I have been Elliot, your host. It has been a mad few weeks doing all this, but I've loved it. Thank you, everyone, for your support, and thank you, everyone who has listened to us ramble for the last 8 weeks. But like everyone else, I'm going to have a sit down and lie down and prepare for my word to be used against me by Tom and the rest of the team. And yes, my taste is always wrong unless I get it right, and I always get it right at least once. Thank you, guys. We'll see you all next time. Bye.